For months, she parked in his driveway like it was her right, until he called the tow truck. Twice. What happened next was a downfall so public, the whole neighborhood watched. Reginald Reggie Carter was a patient man. He had to be. He spent his days teaching middle school science in Lakeland, Florida, trying to get kids interested in something other than their phones. He liked routine. His small brick house was his quiet space. Neat lawn, one-car driveway, everything in order. It wasn't fancy, but it was his. A place to relax, grade papers, and watch the game in peace. Until Blythe Vanderholt decided his driveway belonged to her. It started small. The first time Reggie saw her silver Lexus parked there, he thought it was a mistake. Maybe her guests needed space. He let it slide. But then it happened again and again. Blythe always had an excuse. She was just dropping something off, or only there for a minute. She'd give a fake smile, wave her hand, and expect that to be enough. Reggie didn't like it, but he stayed calm, until one night, after a long day, he came home to find her Lexus sitting there again. He took a deep breath and knocked on her door. She opened it, pretending to be surprised. "Reggie, what's wrong?" she asked sweetly. "Your car's in my driveway again," he said. "Oh, that," she said. "I had a delivery. The driver needed space to back out. You don't mind, do you?" "I do, actually," Reggie said, keeping his voice steady. "Please stop parking there." Blythe sighed. "Reggie, I live next door. It's not like I'm parking on a stranger's property." "You're parking on mine," he said firmly. "Are you really that bothered?" she scoffed. "It keeps happening," Reggie said, "and I need it to stop." She gave a short laugh. Fine, I'll move it." She did that time, but it didn't last. For weeks, the same thing happened. Reggie came home to find her car there. Notes went missing. Knock on her door. No answer. Then one evening, it got worse. Her car was there again, and now a black BMW was parked beside it. Reggie parked on the street, took a photo, and went straight to her door. He knocked hard. She opened it slowly, looking annoyed. "Reggie," she said, stretching out his name. "Whose car is that?" he asked. "Oh, that's my friend's," she said casually. "We were having a little get-together. You weren't home, so I thought it wouldn't matter." "It does matter," Reggie said. "This isn't a parking lot, Blythe. It's my house." She crossed her arms. "You could have said something earlier. I'm saying it now. Move the car." She rolled her eyes and went inside to call her friend. Reggie waited 10 minutes, 15. After 20, he gave up, sat on his couch, and looked up the number for a tow truck. But this was just the start. Reggie wasn't the type to look for trouble, but Blythe had gone too far. The next morning, he called the HOA before work. He didn't expect much. Blythe was powerful on the board. Still, he tried. "Sir," the woman said on the phone, "unless there's damage, we can't get involved. We'll send a courtesy email." Reggie sighed. "Yeah, great. Thanks." That night, he left one final note on Blythe's windshield. In bold letters, "Do not park here again." When he came home later, the note was gone. Her Lexus was back, this time parked sideways like she didn't even care. Reggie parked on the street again, staring at the car in disbelief. She wasn't even pretending to be respectful anymore. Angry, he walked to her door and knocked hard. A full minute later, Blythe opened it, wine glass in hand, looking calm and smug. "Reggie," she said slowly, like she was bored already. "I need you to move your car," Reggie said calmly. Blythe took a slow sip of her wine before answering. "Oh yeah, about that. I meant to text you, but I figured you wouldn't mind. You always park on the street anyway." Reggie's hands tightened at his sides. He tried to stay calm. "I do mind. This is my property, Blythe." She laughed, shaking her head. "Reggie, seriously? You're upset over a driveway?" He stepped closer. "No, I'm upset because I've told you again and again to stop doing this, and you keep ignoring me." Blythe rolled her eyes, swirling her glass. "Fine, I'll move it." Reggie exhaled and turned to go, but then she muttered something under her breath. He didn't catch it, but he caught the tone. He turned back. "What did you just say?" She smiled innocently. "Nothing. No, you said something." Blythe smirked. "I just don't get why some people are so uptight about small things." That smug tone was enough. Reggie said nothing. He walked back inside, pulled out his phone, and saved the number for a tow truck. That night, as he graded papers, he kept thinking about her attitude, the way she acted like she owned everything. She wasn't going to stop, and Reggie was done being nice. The next time she parked in his driveway, he didn't knock or leave a note. He called the tow truck. It was Friday evening. He was tired from work, but seeing that silver Lexus in his driveway gave him energy. He parked on the street, called the towing company, and said, "I need this car gone." The truck came in 20 minutes. The driver looked at the car, then at Reggie. "She's parked in your driveway?" "Yep," Reggie said. "Got proof?" Reggie showed his deed. "All right," the driver said. "Let's get it." In minutes, her car was lifted and locked in place. Reggie stood there watching, arms crossed, feeling relief as the truck drove away with her Lexus. He didn't know what would happen next, but it didn't take long to find out. An hour later, BM, BM, BM. Someone banged on his front door. Reggie didn't rush. He stood, stretched, and opened the door slowly. Blythe stood there in silk pajama pants, flip-flops, and fury on her face. "Where is my car?" she shouted. Reggie tilted his head. "Oh, you mean the one that was illegally parked in my driveway? Don't play with me, Reggie. Where is it?" He shrugged. "Towed." She froze. "You did what?" "You heard me," Reggie said. "You wouldn't stop parking there, so I had it towed. Simple." Blythe laughed loudly, almost screaming. "Oh, you're going to regret this. I'm on the HOA board. I have connections." Reggie blinked slowly. "Good for you. Your car's at Sunshine Towing. Have a nice night." Then he closed the door. She stayed outside yelling for 10 minutes, threatening, ranting, even calling the cops. When the officers came, Reggie met them at the door with his paperwork. "You had her car towed from your own property?" one asked. "Yep," Reggie said, handing them his deed. The officer looked at it and turned to Blythe. "Ma'am, he's within his rights. You'll need to pay the impound fee." Her face turned bright red. Reggie almost smiled, but he knew this wasn't over. And he was right. Blythe didn't stop. She got worse. First, she left a note on his door in red marker. "This is a community. We should all be more considerate." Reggie threw it away. Then came the HOA complaints. Letters about his porch plants, his garbage bins, even his mailbox paint. By the fourth letter, Reggie wasn't even mad, just amazed. She really had time for this. Then, one evening, as he watered his lawn, a white security SUV pulled up with flashing lights. A middle-aged officer got out. "You live here, sir?" Reggie frowned. "Yeah. What?" The officer cleared his throat. "We got a call about some, suspicious activity." Reggie let out a slow breath. That word again. He turned his head, and there she was. Blythe Vanderholt, standing on her porch, arms crossed, pretending she didn't know anything. Reggie gave the officer a dry look. "So watering my lawn is suspicious now?" The officer looked a little embarrassed. "Look, sir, Save it," Reggie cut him off. "I already know who called. Tell her to find a new hobby." The officer sighed, nodded, and walked back to his car. "And Blythe?" She smiled, like she'd just won. Reggie wasn't having it. He walked straight up to her porch. "Blythe." She blinked, acting innocent. "Oh, everything okay, Reggie? I saw security here. Hope nothing serious happened." He folded his arms. "You know exactly why they were here." She gasped softly. "Reggie, no need to be rude. I was just concerned. We all have to look out for our neighborhood, right?" He just stared. She wanted him to lose his temper, to give her something to use against him. So, he did what she didn't expect. He smiled. Calm. Controlled. "I'm done playing games, Blythe. I've given you more chances than you deserve. You keep pushing, now it's my turn." For the first time, she looked unsure. And she should have been. Because next time she parked in his driveway, Reggie wasn't just going to tow her car. He was going to make sure it hurt. He didn't have to wait long. A week later, Saturday afternoon, Reggie pulled into his street after a good morning at the gym and saw Blythe's Lexus parked right in the middle of his driveway again. This time, it was blocking his garage. His family was coming over for a cookout, and that car was sitting there like it owned the place. Reggie sat for a moment, then grabbed his phone. "Hey, this is Reggie Carter. Need a car towed. Same place as last time." The dispatcher laughed. "Let me guess, same car too?" "You got it," Reggie said. "We'll be there in 15. Reggie smiled. This time, she was going to learn. He grabbed a chair from his porch and sat down, waiting. 15 minutes later, the tow truck showed up. The driver hopped out, put on his gloves, and said, "We doing this again?" "Looks like it," Reggie replied. The driver shook his head. Some people never learn. He got to work, quick and smooth. Then Blythe came running out of her house, screaming, "Stop! What are you doing?" Reggie leaned back in his chair, sipping his water. The driver didn't even look at her. She marched up to Reggie, furious. You called the tow truck again? You parked in my driveway again, he said. There was no parking on the street. I have guests over. Not my problem. She growled. You're being petty, Reggie. I told you I'd have moved it. He sighed. You've told me that before. Yet here we are. Her face turned red. You don't know who you're messing with. I have connections. I can make things hard for you. Reggie actually laughed. Oh, Blythe, he said, shaking his head. I don't think you understand what's happening here. He pointed to the tow truck. Your car, it's already gone. She turned around. Sure enough, the Lexus was halfway down the street. You're going to regret this, she yelled. Reggie stood up. No, Blythe. You are. Then he walked back inside, just as his family was pulling up. Blythe stood there on her porch, alone and fuming. But Reggie knew. She wasn't done yet. By Monday morning, Reggie was suddenly the bad guy. At least that's what Blythe wanted people to think. The HOA board sent out an email about recent neighbor disputes. It was worded carefully, making Reggie look like the problem. Then came the flyers. Yes, flyers. Printed and taped to every mailbox. Is this the kind of community we want? Do we tow our neighbors instead of talking to them? Reggie laughed when he saw it. She was really doing all this over a driveway. But the funny thing? Nobody believed her. Neighbors started texting him. Hey man, saw the flyer? She's nuts. She tried to fine me for hanging wind chimes. If she parks there again, I'll split the tow bill with you. Reggie laughed. He didn't even need to defend himself anymore. Everyone already knew who the real problem was. Now that Blythe was embarrassing herself so publicly, people were finally turning on her. Then came the HOA meeting. Reggie usually didn't go, but this time he wanted a front row seat. He walked in, arms crossed, and sat directly across from Blythe. She refused to look at him. The meeting started with the usual talk, budgets, landscaping, trash bins. Then one of the board members spoke up. We need to address a complaint that's been filed regarding misuse of private property. Reggie leaned back, waiting. Blythe sat up straighter, ready to play the victim. But then the board member said, the complaint is against Blythe Vanderholt. Reggie smiled. Blythe's head snapped toward the board. Excuse me, she said. One of the older women sighed. Blythe, we've had several reports of you harassing residents and using HOA resources for personal issues. Blythe's jaw dropped. That's ridiculous. I'm the one being harassed. But the board member continued. We've reviewed complaints about false security calls, unauthorized HOA messages, and retaliating against neighbors. Blythe looked around the room for support, but no one said a word. She wasn't in control anymore. And for the first time, she knew it. But Reggie wasn't done watching her fall. Blythe had ruled the neighborhood for years, using her power to get whatever she wanted. But now, she was losing control fast. And that's when she made her final mistake. 2 days after the meeting, Reggie came home and noticed his trash cans were missing. Not tipped over, just gone. He looked around and saw them behind Blythe's house, stacked neatly. She had actually taken them. Reggie laughed. She's really lost it, he said to himself. Emails, flyers, security calls, HOA fines, and now stolen trash cans. He pulled out his phone, took a few pictures, and walked to her door. Knock, knock. No answer. He knocked again. After a long pause, Blythe opened the door. No fake smile this time, just tired eyes. Reggie held up his phone. You want to tell me why my trash cans are in your yard? She crossed her arms. I don't know what you're talking about. Reggie chuckled. Blythe, I have pictures. Don't lie. She stayed silent. You've lost, Reggie said calmly. You can't find me. You can't call security. The HOA isn't on your side anymore. And now you're stealing trash cans. She didn't say a word, just closed the door. Reggie smiled. That was the smartest thing she'd done all year. The next morning, Reggie filed a complaint with the HOA, this time against her. He included everything. The photos, the reports, the calls, all of it. By the end of the week, the board made their decision. Blythe Vanderholt was removed from the HOA. Her power was gone, and she never parked in Reggie's driveway again. Some people only learn when everything is taken away. Blythe never spoke to Reggie again. No glares. No complaints. Nothing. For the first time in months, Reggie had peace. No blocked cars. No notes. No drama. Just quiet. But the neighborhood kept talking. Blythe's downfall became a local story. The woman who once ruled the HOA had been kicked out of her own position. Neighbors started sharing stories. She fined me for leaving my bike on the porch. She called security on my nephew for wearing a hoodie. She's never helped anyone. Reggie realized something. She'd been a problem long before she came after him. He just happened to be the first one to fight back. And when he did, the whole neighborhood followed. A few months later, a for sale sign appeared in Blythe's yard. She was moving out. Some said she was embarrassed. Others said she just couldn't face anyone anymore. Reggie didn't care why. When the moving trucks finally drove off, he stepped onto his porch, took a deep breath, and smiled. The fight was finally over. And he had won. Because some people think they can push others around forever. But eventually, they go too far. And when someone finally stands up to them, everyone gets to watch them fall. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe. There's always more where that came from.